At the moment we are having the best time in the history of humankind to make money from home. Ebooks are sold digitally, which means there are no production costs, and they can be sold worldwide from many online stores as well as your own sites. So I'm going to show you how to create and format an ebook using Microsoft Word. So let's go and do that now, shall we? Welcome to this video. We're going to format and create an ebook. As you can see, we are in Microsoft Word. This is the Master Key System by Charles Haanel, which is a book in the public domain, which means that I am free to go and use it as I see fit. Okay, so bearing in mind I've had this for quite a while, this is a compatible mode document. So what I am going to do first off is I'm going to press Control and A. Control and A, and copy all the text as such, copy, and then I'm going to open up a blank document which I have here. I'm going to click and then paste, keep the source formatting. Right, so we now have the Master Key System. When it comes to editing your ebook, you can edit everything as you see fit. When they're old, you need to go through them and sometimes break the chapters up so that they're easier to read. This one isn't too bad. There are parts which are quite short. Sometimes you get a public domain book which is really big paragraphs. Obviously you can do this for your own ebook, you don't have to. I'm just doing this to show you how we format a document. You can format a template for yourself and start to write your own ebooks. Okay, so I imagine you are fairly up on Microsoft Word. So if you go to Home, you'll see here there's all these the page layouts which most people tend to use. For example, you can change little parts. You can click on there to bold them, you can make them italic, you can make them underscored, or undo them by clicking the same buttons. You can click a line through it to make it look like you've made a correction, so you can click that. And for this I'm going to press the Control and A button. I'm going to select all the fonts, all the text, and then I'm going to change that to Homer. I am also going to, while I'm at it, going to change the font size to 12. So there we have it. So we now have all the font is to Homer and it is all 12. What I will do now is, for this part here, I shall make it slightly bigger at 20. I might even change the font colour. Okay. So what we have now is a book, and I'm going to add a table of contents. So I'm going to click my pointer and leave the cursor there. Now I'm going to centralize it by clicking on the center tab at the top. I shall then go to References, and where it says here Table of Contents, click on that, and then I'm going to built-in automatic table of contents, and there we have it. So now you can see that the contents have all been added, all the page numbers as it goes along. This will do this automatically. If you make any changes, you just simply need to click on it and then click on the update table and choose whichever one you want to do. Just click OK. You can still edit sections, so for example that contents there can, if I go home, I can change that to match the colour of the rest of the ebook. Okay, so I'm going to leave that as that is, and basically if I click here now where it says Introduction, if I wanted to start that on a fresh page, I will go to Page Layout. I shall go to Breaks. Now you've got a couple of sections here. You've got page breaks, which mark the point at which one page ends and the next page begins, and section breaks, next page. insert a section break and start the new section on the next page. So basically I'm going to click on that now. That's where my cursor is. It has now sent that onto another page. And because this is finishing with it's been an introduction by F.H. Burgess, here where it says some men seem to attract success, I shall do exactly the same thing, click on breaks, and then I shall go to next page. So that starts on a next page. And on the table of contents you'll see the introduction, it says it's on page 2. Well, if I click on there and then update table, update page numbers only, click OK, you'll see that the introduction has now been moved to page 3. Okay, so there you go. You can, if you want, also add in some extra bits and bobs here at the bottom. So to add an image to an ebook, simply click on the insert. So I'm going to, well, first of all let's go to home, and I'm going to centralize my cursor. If it'll let me. So let's just go down a second. There we go. Now I've centralized it. There we go. So now that is centralized, what we need to do is go and click on insert. So I'm going to click open pictures, and I go to my ebook covers, and I shall choose this little image here. Wait for it to load up. There it is on the next page. Because it's so big, it's stuck it on another page, so I'm going to shrink that really small and just make it a little touch bigger. See how far I can get that, and if I can right, so that's as far as it'll go. So there we have the Master Key System by Charles Hannell. Okay, so we now have the table of contents. We also have the image in place. As you're going along, you want to make sure you start saving your document. So let's just do that, shall we? Let's just save that. Stuff. Let's just do it. The Master Key System hours. Just do that, and then press save. Okay, so we now have our book. If you wanted to put a border around it, if you go to page layouts and then you go to page borders there, you can actually choose a page border. So for example, if I click on box and I can choose the style, so if I went with that for example, the whole document, if I press OK, now suddenly we have a page around each box. Okay. Also, what you want to do now is add a header and footer. So I'm now going to go back to insert, and then you see here it will say header and footer. So click on header, and then you can choose a type of header and footer that you want. I will go with alphabet. Okay, so now that has typed in the, normally that would often type in the title, but because I've changed it, it hasn't come up, so we need to put in there the Master Key System by Charles Hannell, and then to unedit the section, click on the page itself. Right, so if you want to edit the section, you simply click above the line, and to take away the editing part, click underneath. And you do exactly the same thing when you want to put in the footer. So go back to insert, Then you go to footer and click on the footer thing. There you'll see you've got a box where you can type in text. This is where you probably put in your company details or your website, like timsminions.com. And then again, to click out of the editable area, you click in the center of the page. So now you can see you've got your footer at the bottom of the page and your header at the top of the page. Okay, so I'm now just going to click on save. What I am going to show you is something really cool. So you click in the footer section, click on insert, click on shapes, click rectangle, and then you click anywhere just once and a little rectangle will come up. Now move that to the side of the page. It doesn't have to be the side of the page, I'm just going to do this to show you. And I'm going to click, just bring it like so, then I'm going to drag it to the top. Okay, so there we go. Now for the shape outline, I'm going to go with this light grey, and for the shape fill I'm going to go with the same light grey. Okay, so now you can see it's on all these pages. So now if I just double click, you have a band down the side. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to remove, let's go to page layout, go to page borders and go in none and press OK. So that will remove the page borders. So now we've got this grey band down the side. So now I'm going to click down here in the footer section. I'm going to go to insert and then I'm going to click on word art. So now I'm just going to drag this up here and I'm going to type in there the master key system. What I am going to do now is choose a font, so I'm going to highlight that, I'm going to go home, then I'm going to go to my font, I'm going to choose the Vinyl Hand ITC. What I am going to do now is I'm going to scroll this round and move it I'm just going to move it up a fraction more. Drag it down a little. So it's somewhere like, it's not, doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm just going to double click back into the page itself. And as you scroll through the book now, you will see that we have the master key system written down the side of your ebook. What is so special about this is now that because I was in the edit page section when I did it, it means that when I click in the center of the page, it is now locked. Nothing can be done to it until you click in the edit section, the footer section. So that is now in place. So then basically you can modify ebooks and have a great time creating different styles for your ebooks. Right, so excuse me. What I am going to do is quickly have a look at the introduction, and that has gone under the normal tab. Okay, up here you'll see that there are a set of boxes that highlight when you hover over them. If you click this little arrow here, you will see that there are various different things of formatting that you can choose. For example, I'm going to click on, let's go for this one for a second, and then I'm going to put heading 1 onto my board. If you click on it with your right finger your right button, go to modify. You can change the heading 1 setting, so we're going to go with Verdana. I'm going to go with 14, and I'm going to go with bold, which it was, and then I'm going to go with, there should be a font colour somewhere. There we go with that colour there. I'm going to click OK. So now I have created my heading 1. My introduction was highlighted at the time, so that's now been changed. If I just click on this update table, entire table. Okay, you can see now it's slightly changed the introduction of everything. What I shall do is just undo that. So that's there is the introduction. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on modify again, and I'm going to go with italics and OK. And as you can see, it has already changed the heading to italics, so whatever is attached to that suddenly becomes so whatever is already under that label there, the heading 1, it becomes it is automatically changed. So for example, here you can see now we have in the contents, the table of contents, you can see that we have the introduction, but we also have F.H. Burgess, we have James Allen, we have Wilmans, we have Larson, from the Sanskrit, A.B. Alcott. We don't need those really in the table of contents. What we need is the part 1, part 2, part 3 and part 4 and the introduction. So to remove these we need to change the headings, because this this table, if you remember when I went to references and opened up the table, it's automatic table. It goes with heading 1, heading 2 and heading 3. Now I've just changed the heading 1. I need to go back to heading 1 there. Oops. I've just changed the heading 1 setup. So if we go through, that there should no longer be in the heading section. So if we go through these here, in fact let me just scroll back up, and if I just basically bold that, bold it like that, and I scroll down to the part 1, I click on headings. Now that should automatically take the settings from the headings. I am now going to go down to part 2 and I'm going to click on headings. What I am going to do as well is I'm going to go to page layout and I'm going to click on breaks, and I'm going to click on next page for part 2. Now these are obviously question sections. At the end of the question, at the end of each chapter, sorry, in the master key system, they tend to have questions. But I'm going to put a page layout there and go with the next page and start the questions on the next page. I'm going to scroll down again. James Allen, that hopefully should no longer be, that's under normal, so that should be just going to undo all that, and I'm going to go down to part 3. There we go, it's part 3. I'm going to click on the heading 1, put my cursor there. I'm going to go to page layout, go to breaks and to next page. Okay, so now you get the gist of what I'm doing. I'm now going to go to the table of contents and I'm going to update the table and let's see what happens. Right, so we've got contents, introduction, part 1 and part 2. We're still getting the F.H. Burgess and the James Allen, which we don't need those in there. So we need to rectify that issue. We basically just need to scroll down to where they are. Which was introduction, if I remember rightly, for the James Allen, F.H. Burgess, sorry. Simply highlight that, and I'm going to click on the number 2, which is the no space in. I think I might just make that slightly bigger, and let's scroll down to the James Allen. Okay, highlight that. I'm going to click on that, and again I'm going to make that just slightly bigger. Okay, so that's those two done. So just go back up to the table of contents, click on it, go to update table, update entire table, click OK, and there they go. You see now we have the part 1, part 2, part 3, which has been changed because I've now done those 3 as the heading 1 setup. So if you go down the page doing exactly the same thing, every header that you do, every part or title for a chapter, if you always set it up as the heading 1, it'll be registered automatically in the table when you update the table. So let's go down to part 4 and 5 and do exactly that, just to reiterate what I mean. So let's scroll down. That's part 3. So we've got part 4. So if I click on that and then I go to the heading, click there, and I'm going to go to page layout, breaks, next page, and then I'm going to scroll down again until I find his Wilman's. Highlight him, go home. I'm going to choose second thing for him. Again, just like the rest, I'm going to make him slightly bigger, 14 or 16, I can't remember what it was. I'm now going to put page layout, breaks, next page for the next set of questions. Part 5, go to home, choose my headings 1 section, go to page layout, go to breaks, go to next page. Okay, so now we've done that again for parts 4 and 5. Now I'm just going to click on the update table, update entire table. So what we should see now is part 4 and part 5 change, and Wilman should hopefully disappear out of the contents. So that's part 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So you'd go down the whole ebook sorting out the headings. Again, I'm making a bit more work for myself because I'm using an old book that's I'm already there, but you can create the template of everything. You can create your headings ready for when you start writing your ebook, and then just every time you create a chapter, make sure you type it in the heading section, then start typing the rest in normal font that you choose, and then when you come to update your table, it'll automatically be added with the page number. Okay, so if you wanted to add a cover page, you can simply go to Insert, and here in the far corner there is a tab that says Cover Page. Click on Cover Page and you can choose several different types to choose from. They are all editable. Some are a little bit more hard work than normal. So let's go for example, should we go for Annual, click on Annual, and now you've got the Master Key System by Charles Hannell. Not sure I actually like that one, so I'm going to let's just do undo. Let's go again and insert cover page. I'll go with conservative. Okay, so now these bits can be removed. I can cut that. I can cut that. They can be removed. Master Key System Charles Hannell has been added in. Company. You can edit that or you can delete it, but you can do timsminions.com. Again, that can be modified. If you go to Home, you can change it to Verdana or whichever font you fancy. Again, that can be edited as well. I'm going to make that bold. So that's Master Key System by Charles Hannell. And type document subtitle. Don't want one there. I'm going to cut that. Okay, so we've added those. Here is my version of the excellent book, the Master Key System by Charles Hannell. Maybe I should change that to here is the Tim's Minions edition. Okay, so we can highlight that. I can centralize that. I can change the colour, and there we go. So that's that. I've gone now, moved my cursor to the centre. I'm going to insert an image, which will be this image here, which is huge. So I just need to drag and make that small. So that's there, and this page needs to be removed. Okay, so we now have roughly a cover. If you really wanted, you can go to town and design the cover a lot more interesting. I mean, you can go to, I suppose, insert shapes, go for a rectangle, and create a rectangle like so. Go for shape fill, which has got no. Oops. Let's go for no fill, sorry, there we go. Shape outline, go for that colour. And the weight, so you can choose 6. Click in the box. And there you're done, you're giving yourself a cover. So a bit of a change around on the cover. Obviously this is just me playing around. You can do play around at your heart's content. This is just a rough guide to show you what can be done, and I think that basically that's it for the only other thing is, as I said, I've shown you before. Let's choose a spot. Let's go for here, for example. Go for central. Okay, let's insert a picture. So we insert a picture. Let's go with that. So that's how you insert a picture. Simple. If you wanted to link to the picture, because some ebooks can link out, and you can click on them and go to websites and places like that. So you simply just double click on the image itself and go to insert, go to hyperlink, and then type in http Family Guy www.timsminions.com. Okay, just go with that for example. So now he's clickable to actually the Tim's Minions website. You can do that, and also you can do exactly that with text. So for example, if I scroll up, so if we decide to put your web address, your URL or whatever at the bottom of a page, www.timsminions.com for example, if I just sort of copy that, but if I went to hyperlink, if I close that down, let me just, if you right click on your mouse, you will open up this little menu here. You can also choose hyperlink from there, and then type in your link there and press OK, and now you've created a hyperlink straight to your website. Now if I just double click on that again, go to edit hyperlink, not quite sure why it does that sometimes. Text to display, I don't want it to show the HTTP, but let's remove the link and let's just copy that, delete that. I don't okay, let's put in hyperlink. Right, text to display. So I'm now going to paste that in there. Right, here we go. I want to remove that. I don't want that to be seen. As much as I like Word, occasionally there are things that pop up which shouldn't. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to click OK, and there we go. So now you've got a hyperlink to your website or anything else that you want to do. So just out of interest, if you were interested, just to show you again, if I click on the edit footer section and go to insert, and I go for shapes, let's look for something interesting. Okay, so let's go with just out of curiosity, let's go with an arrow. Let's go with a down arrow. Okay, so I've put that arrow there. Now if I let's choose the shape outline again to be that light grey, the shape fill to be that light grey, and if I send backwards, on the top bar you'll see here it says send backwards. That should send it behind the text. Now if I double click on the page, you will see now that I have created a arrow on every page. Not that I want an arrow on there, I just wanted to show you that it doesn't matter whereabouts you put the shape on the page itself. Once it's in the edited section and you close it off, once you when you do it while you're in the edit footer area, again, so you can move it and then click out, you'll see I've edited it for everywhere throughout the ebook, so you can actually add all the graphics and images into your ebook to appear in the same place across the whole ebook. The only issue you do have, which for some reason I don't quite know why, but if I went to insert a picture and tried it with a picture, it'll always stick it in the let's see if we can get it, that will always be in the footer area. I don't quite know why. won't let you choose the place you put it. It just automatically sticks it in the footer header area and you can't move it, but you can when you come to using the shapes. So again, we're in the edit area. I'm going to go to insert, so let's just go back to shapes and put in stars and banners, call outs. Let's go for a call out. So now if I just, oops, maybe a call out doesn't work, I'll try that again. Insert shapes. Ah, there we go. Okay, so I've got that there. If I send that backwards and then double click on the page, we now have that on every part of, on every page of the ebook. Okay, so I'm going to start to draw this to a close now. As you can see how easy it is to play around and format an ebook, and ebooks can be given away for free, they can be sold, they are incredible little things and you can do them all from home. And now I've shown you how to do some of the formatting. I look forward to seeing your ebooks circulating the internet. To get a downloadable PDF showing you how to create and format an ebook along with a free ebook template, go to timsminions.com/628/how to create and format an ebook, and those words all have a dash in between them. And to learn more about social media, internet marketing, blogging and how to make money online, go to www.timsminions.com.